One of the defining attributes of this channel is reorienting how we see and consume media. I advocate frequently for living healthy, hitting the gym often, stepping up to the plate of responsibility, you know, all that alpha influencer jargon you see in YouTube shorts with trap music behind it. A huge area of disagreement between me and those people often, however, is that I don't like telling people to abandon art and pursue self-indulgence in place. I don't believe you'll find more fulfillment in a club than painting Warhammer figures, but I do believe we should all be striving to adjust how we consume art and to do so with intent to be inspired. What I'm saying is, drop the goy slop, yes, but keep the chase for divine inspiration. Basically, I'd rather be Henry Cavill than Andrew Tate, but I'd always like to be jacked. Long-winded, pretentious intro aside, let's talk about Street Fighter and the gym. One of my favorite pieces of gym apparel is my white Street Fighter hoodie. It keeps me focused and it looks sick. I often think of this game when I'm hitting the Iron Temple, jamming Demons with Ryu by Ymir. Thing is, I'm not the only one. A lot of people are inspired by the incredible feats and aesthetics of these fighters. I see so many people training to Street Fighter music, wearing Street Fighter merch, posting clips of how they want to be like these characters. One of the guys in my Discord, who I'll put on screen now, go follow him, uses Street Fighter for inspiration all of the time. He even did programming for me a few months before I got a coach in my gym, and he works with the guys in my Discord all of the time. So if you're looking for some help in the gym or you're trying to get started, hop in the Discord and we can get you started on that. Anyways, a lot of these characters have intense and interesting backstories that make them inspirational. But today I want to focus on one in particular, the poster boy of the franchise, Ryu. Something so many of us struggle with day to day in this modern world is a sense of aimlessness, purposelessness. That's why wish fulfillment media often takes an everyman character with nothing going on in their life and whisks them into some grand conflict or other world. Because secretly, we all want to have some great purpose instilled into our lives, but we don't really know how. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen, and accepting that fact is part of growing up from a child to an adult. So what are we left with? A choice. You can either accept the monotony of our lives, or we can choose to seek something greater of our own will and volition. No unexpected characters or inciting incident, just pick a purpose and pursue. This is the origin of Ryu. Raised and trained to be the strongest fighter in the world, Ryu wanted to prove himself against the strongest fighters he could find, to be the best. From childhood, he trained constantly with his mentor Guken and non-blood brother Ken Masters. You see, Ryu was orphaned as a baby and had no memory of his parents at all, so he had no legacy to hold or destiny to find as a child. Only a dojo and a sense of discipline to be the best. It was this drive, this sense of purpose that drove Ryu to travel to Thailand and confront one of the world's best Muay Thai fighters. This was all just to prove himself as the best fighter, because it was what he wanted. Eventually, of course, he would receive his fight with the legendary Sagat, but in order to make it happen, Ryu fought all of Sagat's Muay Thai disciples to force Sagat to face Ryu in order to defend his own craft. Ryu would win this fight, but only just barely. See, Ryu has a special ability called Satsui no Heido, which translates to Surge of Murderous Intent. This ability activates within him when he is at the brink of loss, giving him a boost of willpower and strength. It's sort of like an inner darkness that overtakes him and pushes him towards victory no matter what, even if it means killing his opponent. This causes him to nearly kill Sagat and does permanently scar him. However, after his victory against Sagat, something cool happens. Sagat becomes humbled and swears to keep training and one day defeat Ryu. Ryu's own will and determination caused a ripple of inspiration for others to train even harder too. This is often what happens when we embody the will to fight. It can motivate those around us to be better as well. All of his training would of course become less optional for him to use after his mentor and father figure was reportedly murdered by a different warrior named Akuma, leaving him with a duty to avenge his master. When this occurred, Ryu did not back down. He hunted Akuma and faced him down in a one-on-one fight. This is such a cool progression to me because it shows the benefit of training. He trained for himself and his own goals, but when the time came for him to avenge his mentor's murder, he was ready. This sends a good message. How can you speak softly and carry a big stick if you don't even know how to find or use the stick? Ryu overcame Akuma, of course, and won that fight as well. But enough about his origin. What is it about that origin that makes Ryu inspiring? Self-motivation, discipline, training, honor, a call to be more. Ryu exemplifies the constant struggle to be better no matter what. There's probably a million things he is terrible at. There's probably a million things he doesn't know or understand, but none of that matters. He doesn't care about those things, he cares about training. I feel like there's a lesson in that we could all take. A lot of people struggle with feeling inadequate. We hate admitting we're wrong, or that we're not good at something, or that there are things we don't know. It's why when we're confronted with someone who is really good at something, we often say to ourselves, well, I might not be good at X, but put me in front of Y and I'll nail it. Because it embarrasses us to think that we're not good at some things. It's why so many of us are afraid to start something new or go someplace we're not familiar with yet, because we subconsciously recognize that it means the process of failing and embarrassing ourselves trying to familiarize ourselves with what we're wanting to do. We can't be good at everything, but we can pick something to learn. I remember vividly back in 2019 when I decided I wanted to change my life and start going to the gym and putting on muscle. I wanted to be strong like the characters I saw on screen. I wanted to embody good traits to be better. Let me tell you, it was a struggle. Those first few months in the gym, having no idea what any of the machines did, not knowing what a compound movement was or what I was doing, being worried that I was doing something wrong. It was hard. But fast forward almost 5 years of hitting the gym as hard as I could, nearly every day for several of those years, chugging protein and pre-workout, a previously anorexic skinny kid pushing himself against things he didn't even understand just to be better, now helps other people in the gym, now tells other people what compound movements are. It manifests itself to continue and become a self-perpetuating cycle of positivity. It was because of characters like Ryu that I even wanted to keep pushing through it. They helped remind me what I wanted to be. They helped remind me what it looked like to train, to fail, and to succeed. Ryu's struggle starts to show itself to me even more now. We don't have to understand things to learn them, we just have to admit that we don't understand before we can. We don't have to know everything, we just have to pick what we want to know and then dedicate our hearts to the cause. Ryu inspires us because he is focused, because he is determined. He isn't a Renaissance man, he has one goal, and monomaniacally he chases and trains for that goal with everything he's got. In the same way, we should all be training for our goals. The same way we should all be trying to embody the best traits of Ryu. When we see Ryu fighting, struggling, and overcoming, it hits different from other characters. We can look at him and tell what he is, who he is. His appearance alone reflects and demonstrates what he is about, the same way our appearance does to us. In our modern culture, more and more we see a push to convince you that your appearance doesn't matter. Go ahead and get fat. Go ahead and consume and consume, consume. The more you eat, the less you move, the more time you'll spend consuming and watching ads and spending money. Ryu is a reminder of what we are capable of through training and hard work, through grind and discipline. We all consume content from time to time. I'm not saying it's wrong, just saying we can change how we do it. Each character, every story, is an opportunity and a lesson. Change how you consume. And for everyone buying Street Fighter 6, take note of these characters and their physiques. Remember how we appear reflects who we are. Habits build lifestyles, and lifestyles build bodies. Ryu trains nearly non-stop to be the best, never settling, never giving up. Every continue is an instance of Ryu rising from failure, trying again and again until he gets it right. Even when he finds himself at the brink of total loss, it only motivates him more, to the point of letting go absolutely and giving everything he has 100% to ensure victory, even if that means killing someone. Basically, if I was going to sum it up, Ryu is a badass looking master martial artist, and we tend to fall in love with that as an audience. But to go deeper, we should seek to embody the very attributes that made him what he is. Art exists to inspire, not waste time. So let it inspire you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I love doing these kinds of short essay-like videos about inspiring characters, so if you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around. I've got a few others that you may want to check out, so I'll link one at the end of this video. If you want to keep up with me, then consider following me on Twitter or joining my Discord where we talk about fitness, the gym, gaming, and consuming content better. That's all I got for you. I'll see you in the next video.